Hello, my name is Stephanie, and tonight we are reading chapter 4 of Hosea. So here we are, chapter 4, NLT, the Inspire Bible. Okay, so Hosea, to recap, I strongly, at least read chapter 1, okay? But this is an easy book to read. It's not very long. Check out my videos on the first few chapters. Basically, Hosea is a prophet of God, so he is set apart. This is a holy man, and God suddenly one day decided to go, hey, Hosea, I want you to marry a prostitute. So why? Because Hosea is also a prophet for the nation of Israel. Now, the nation of Israel, remember, God delivered them from the Egyptians through Moses, the plagues and the parting of the Red Sea and the wilderness, and God provided manna. So God has proven himself to the nation of Israel. He has done signs and wonders. He's done miracles. And remember, the first generation didn't enter the promised land because they were complaining and disobedient. And so that's another issue that we're having here. Because after King David and Solomon, passed away, right, God made this promise to David that his descendants would rule over Israel. And God kept his promise, but his descendants, and it started with Solomon, which is why we're not sure if he's in heaven or not, even though he wrote 3 books of the Bible, because he, like God warned him, he had 700 wives, 300 concubines. He had hundreds of wives that worshiped false gods. And God said, do not worship other gods. And Solomon was disobedient to that, unfortunately. And so were his descendants, so all David's descendants, God promised would rule over Israel, but they all kept allowing idol worship. And this idol worship was no small thing. They were worshiping Baal. Sound familiar? Right? That's the demon god that, the wicked people in the Epstein files worship, right? The evil Hollywood elites, right? It's horrific stuff. So God had every reason to be angry with Israel and very frustrated. And God is a jealous God. He wants you to have no other gods. I mean, God doesn't want you worshiping a demon, okay? And doing child sacrifice. Is that really too much to ask, Israel? And seriously. And God was so incredibly merciful and gracious to Israel. When you really read the Old Testament in context and you know what they were doing and how incredibly rebellious they were, it wasn't because they didn't know if God really existed. No, they knew. They knew God existed. They worshiped God. They believed in God. God delivered them from the Egyptians, delivered them from this, delivered them from that, did miracles, saved their lives. And still they would, while Moses was up on the mountain getting the 10 Commandments, they had to, melt all their gold together and make a golden calf and start worshiping because they got impatient, worshiping a false god because they got impatient. Okay, so that's kind of the general context of the Old Testament. Whenever people say, wow, God was so heartless in the Old Testament, no, he wasn't. He was incredibly gracious. These people were doing evil things after God had demonstrated his love, his power, his faithfulness to them. They turned around and spit in his face. And God gave them countless opportunities to repent, to turn from their sin. And when they didn't, he would punish them, but then he would redeem them from the punishment. And that is what the story of Hosea is about. So Hosea, again, he's the prophet over this, and this really happened. God told him to marry a prostitute. And the prostitute is a representation, her name is Gomer, of Israel, because she's a prostitute. So even though she's married to Hosea and they have children together, she keeps going and prostituting herself, right? She's unfaithful, just like Israel was unfaithful to God. And so it goes through the whole thing of God rejecting Israel, but then also winning them back. And I'm summarizing, but read Hosea. It's powerful. It's like the first time I'm reading it as a full-grown adult, I think. So it's interesting. So we're going to read part of chapter 4, the Lord's case against Israel. Hear the word of the Lord, O people of Israel. The Lord has brought charges against you, saying, there is no faithfulness, no kindness, no knowledge of God in your land. You make vows and break them. You kill and steal and commit adultery. There is violence everywhere, one murder after another. This is why your land is in mourning, and everyone is wasting away. Even the wild animals, the birds of the sky, and the fish of the sea are disappearing. My gosh, that's bad. Don't point your finger at someone else and try to pass the blame. My complaint, you priests, is with you. Ooh. So you will stumble in broad daylight. Oh my gosh. And I don't know, it's funny. And your false prophets will fall with you in the night. And I will destroy Israel, your mother. My people are being destroyed because they don't know me. Since you priests refuse to know me, I refuse to recognize you as my priests. Oh my goodness. Since you have forgotten the laws of your God, I will forget to bless your children. The more priests there are, the more they sin against me. They have exchanged the glory of God for the shame of idols. Oh my goodness. When the people bring their sin offerings, the priests get fed. They're eating the offerings. I remember that, oh my gosh, they literally ate the offerings that they were supposed to give to God. That is not, that's like so messed up. It's like crazy. Oh my gosh, okay. So the priests are glad when the people sin because they get free food. Oh my gosh, that is so messed up. And what the priests do, the people also do. So now I will punish both priests and people for their wicked deeds. Yeah, that. Wow, they will eat and still be hungry. They will play the prostitute and gain nothing from it. Wow, for they have deserted the Lord to worship other gods. Wine has robbed my people of their understanding. Ooh. Don't drink too much wine. You don't want to lose your understanding. Understanding is very important. I learned from reading Proverbs. You want wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Wisdom is knowing what you need to know. Knowledge is what you need to know. And understanding is understanding it. It's your brain grabbing it and having that revelation. It's getting it, actually remembering and getting the knowledge. So you want understanding. And like God says, his people perish for lack of knowledge. Like he says here, because they don't know me, my people are being destroyed. So you want wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, verse 12, they ask a piece of wood for advice. He's talking about the graven images, the false idols they've carved for themselves. But there's demons behind those idols. They think a stick can tell them the future. Oh my gosh. Longing after idols has made them foolish. Don't want to be foolish. Proverbs talks about that. The danger, it literally equates foolishness with wickedness and evil. That's how dangerous it is to be foolish. And it says too that it's an act of choice. It's not just, oh, I don't know. It's an act. You can choose to be wise and you can seek knowledge and wisdom and understanding, or you're a fool, essentially. And of course, it talks a lot about alcohol, excessive alcohol leading to that, like it just mentioned here, wine. They have played the prostitute, serving other gods and deserting their God, the one true God. They offer sacrifices to idols on the mountaintops. They go up into the hills to burn incense in the pleasant shade of oaks, poplars, and terebinth trees. This is why your daughters turn to prostitution and your daughters-in-law commit adultery. But why should I punish them for their prostitution and adultery? For your men are doing the same thing, sinning with whores and shrine prostitutes. Oh my God. O foolish people, you refuse to understand, so you will be destroyed. Though you, Israel, are a prostitute, may Judah not be guilty of such things. Okay, join me in the next video where I finish this chapter and read chapter 5 of Hosea.